Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another YouTube episode. So today I have with me Chinyereego. She is a undergraduate student right now. She is a rising junior, and she's going to talk a little bit about the process or how you can get your university or your department to recognize a class that you want to take and allow you to take it for credit. She's going to talk a little bit about that story. And sometimes you might be majoring something and your department says you must take these classes, you can't take these classes, you have to do this, you have to do that. Sometimes the class you want is not available. So you have to go through a certain process to get the department to say yes to, the class you want to take or doing something else. So she's going to talk to us a little bit about that process and her experience with that. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me, Eamon.
All right, so you can go ahead and start talking about your experience with this whole process and how you got your department to allow you to take a class that you really wanted to take, or to make some accommodations for you. How about that? How'd you get your university to make some accommodations for you? So the floor is yours.
All right. Like you said, I am a nursing major and I am about to start the program in January. So I'm supposed to be joining the nursing program this January. And I only have one more class to take, which is anatomy and physiology 2. But I do have a scholarship, which is really good. I'm happy about that. But my scholarship requires me to take full-time courses. I have to be a full-time student in order for me to have this scholarship. And I got stuck and I'm like, wait, what do I do? Full time, but I only need one class. So I was just like, okay, no problem. I would like to just take classes that I was never able to take before because I was going on this strict path in the program and everything. I've been doing all of the requirements. So I was like, okay, this is my opportunity to take 3 classes of my choice. So as I was applying for my class, as I was registering for my classes, there was absolutely no problem. And then all of a sudden, last month, July, so yeah, last month, this has been such a long process. I was notified that my scholarship would not cover those other classes because they're like, you have to take required classes. And I'm like, what classes do you guys want me to take? There's no other class. There was another class that I eventually registered for, but I had 2 free spaces. And those free spaces, I know maybe I was kind of being a little hard-headed, but like I really wanted those specific classes, which was personal finance and American Sign Language. I'm like, I've been interested in these. I really want to just take one class before my nursing program starts. And I was just like, how can you tell me no to American Sign Language? Like, I was really bummed out about that. So I start emailing academic advisors. I make phone calls. You can't really go to the school because of everything going on. So I'm calling. They're telling me, go to this person, go to the next person. You can't do it. There's no way. And I was definitely giving up. Eventually, one academic advisor said, just lay low. Just hopefully they pay it. Let's just see what happens. So we cross over from July to August, and I'm still waiting. I'm like, okay, everything's good. Classes are registered for. I'm good to go. And all of a sudden, I just get this email, and the email says, "Hey, we're not paying for these classes. Like, you have to find and you can't take them." So I was like, "What? 1 week till classes, and you're telling me I can't take these classes?"
That's crazy.
I was just like, "What do I do now?" And I like to prepare for my classes before they happen. So already I'm preparing. I'm like, okay, this is what's happening. This is my schedule for this next semester. These are my classes. So to be told all of a sudden, no, you can't take any of those. It has to all be changed up. I'm like, whoa. Luckily, the campus opened, so I was able to go out, talk to academic advisors, and they're like, yeah, there's nothing you can do. But there are these 2 classes, and these other 2 classes that they told me to take was with this professor. At first I was skeptical, like, why is nobody registering for these classes? And I look, and it's this professor with like a 2-point rating. Everyone's like, prepare to fail. I'm like, what? Like, there's no point of me taking a class that can affect my GPA or affect my chances into going into nursing school
Mm-hmm.
when those classes are not required. And I'm just like, why can't I just take these two classes I want to take? I don't want to put my GPA on the line or my chances of getting into nursing school on the line. So I some fuel. I just went, like, I was just on fire this week, like going to the school back to back, like going from one person's office to the next person's office and this email. Finally, um, actually yesterday, which was Wednesday,
Thursday.
Thursday. Yeah, somebody told me you can write an appeal to the scholarship committee. So I write this email. I construct this email, and I'm just like, look at what's going on. I know it's late. I've been messaging people for over a month, and I've just like, this is what I've been told. And today I was told, hey, we're not going to let you take these two classes still, but we are going to change your scholarship. We're going to make a little tweak. So we're going to allow you to still hold this scholarship, but instead of you being full time, you're going to be a part time student. So they allowed me to go part time this coming semester in order to pay for that one A&P class that I really wanted to, that I need to take for nursing
Mm-hmm.
school. But I wasn't forced to take these two classes anymore that everybody was saying you have to take, and I had no option to get around it. So I made a way around it.
That's awesome. I know you said that you wrote an appeal to the scholarship committee.
Yeah.
So when you wrote that appeal, what did you write in there? Did you tell them, I'm afraid for my GPA? What did you say to them? How did you approach them for them to finally approve that? Because before that, you did talk to how many people for how many months
I
before
really
all
don't
this?
even know how many people anymore. I don't know how many people I spoke to.
It's just been a long process, and
Very long.
finally, like right before classes start, you basically get the answer that you want. So yeah, what did you include in that appeal to the scholarship community? What can you say are some do's and don'ts or things you did well that allowed the scholarship committee to say yes to your request?
I definitely allowed them to see my heart and like actually how I felt. Like, I was like, I'm scared for my GPA, and like, it's not like, not only is this going to affect this semester, but it can potentially affect me going into this program that I really, it can affect me going into this program. So I just told them, like, hey, I'm afraid that my GPA can be affected by three classes that I don't need. I only need one, and I'm being forced to like do three. I can't focus on this one class because my attention is going to be divided in four different ways now because of three classes that I actually didn't need to take. So I was just like, I'm afraid for my GPA. This is online. This is new for me. And I just explained that to them. I also told them I have been talking to people in the financial aid office. I've been talking to
Mm-hmm.
academic advisors. I even was given a specific advisor slash mentor for the presidential scholarship that I have, and I've been reaching out to her. She's been even reaching out to other people, and she was definitely a great help. It was definitely good to reach out to these different advisors and everything. And every email, I'm getting it proofread by the English department, like, hey, is this a good letter to send? Hey, is this all right? Because I desperately wanted it.
Yeah.
And it was, I believe that like I got this because I really wanted it. It's like I
Mm-hmm.
didn't give up even until
Mm-hmm.
the last point. Today's Friday, and classes start on Monday, and I
Wow.
was just given the answer. So now I'm like, whoa, okay, finally it happened. Something that had started in the beginning of July.
Right. That's awesome. I like that you said that when you were writing emails to these people to ask, can they allow you or permit you to have this adjustment in your schedule? I like that you said you were very careful about what you wrote, and you also took it for review because
Yes.
you wanted someone else's perspective, right?
Yes.
You wanted to make sure that everything you wrote made sense, because people have to understand, when you are asking somebody for something, you have to come correct. People are busy. People have a lot going on, especially right now in this day and age that we live in. There's a lot happening in the world. So if you are, going to someone and asking them, hey, this is what I need, you really need to be prepared, correct?
Yes.
So the people that you emailed for this appeal before you finally got to the scholarship committee, who were some of those people? And if someone's in the same situation, who should they go to first? I know you mentioned advisor.
I didn't just reach out to one advisor, but it was multiple different advisors. Um, my school uses something called DegreeWorks. So
Mm-hmm.
DegreeWorks was the person that emailed me. So I was sending emails to DegreeWorks. I was sending emails to advisors. I was also sending emails to the financial aid committee, and I was also sending emails to scholarship committee.
Okay, so you basically emailed anyone who was involved, who had some type of say in everything. You just emailed them one after the other and was like, this is my issue, this is my issue, this is my issue.
Yes, and even I don't even remember all the people I emailed because like as I would email one person, they're like, I don't know this, but I can direct you to the director of this or the assistant director of that. So if I was sent over to like an assistant, another director, I would email them too. So I don't even know every single person that I emailed. And something you mentioned was what is something not to say in these
Mm-hmm.
emails,
Yeah.
and I think it's important to know that like this is something I really want, but like sometimes your desperate tone can be a bit much. So that's why I was very happy that I went and always got everything I did proofread, and even I know a part of it. I was like, this professor has terrible ratings, and the person's like, hey, let's not mention that to the scholarship committee
Mm-hmm.
because they're like that may be seen as you're just too scared to take that specific professor, but that wasn't the point of the entire thing.
That makes sense. That's awesome. Um, so yeah, okay, I think we're almost about done there. If anyone has any questions, it looks like you have plenty of fans on here. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to leave those questions, and we can address those. So here is one final question. Before we finish, do you have any advice, anything you would like to tell college students? If you'd like, you can talk a little bit about your college journey and any tips or advice that you have for anyone in general. So you can go ahead and talk about that. And if we have any questions, we'll just wait for those in the chat.
My number one, like the number one thing I would say in this entire process, something that I learned was to not give up. And when
Hmm.
someone says no, you don't always have to take their no. You can just keep on going until you get to where you really want to. Because
Yep.
I remember leaving my advisor's office yesterday. I believe she thought I was going home, but I said, "Wait, let me stop by at the financial aid office one last
Hmm.
time." So don't give up and don't think that you're a burden or that you're doing too much. And also, it's better late than never. Even when the financial aid office directed me to go talk to the scholarship committee, I was thinking like, am I really about to send somebody an email or an appeal and I only have one more day? Because this is Thursday and then all we have is Friday. That's like the next business day and school starts on Monday. So I'm like, really? Am I really gonna do that? But I did do it. So even when you don't think it's right, just do it. The worst anybody can tell you is no.
Yep.
So that's that. And something, my college experience, it's been good. Something that I would honestly say is never be afraid to ask for help. Reach out to those academic advisors. I know I'm always reaching out to them like at least every semester. I'm talking to them, making sure that I was on the right track. And as soon as I like got into college and taking college classes, I reached out to them. I would ask them any question, Even if I felt like my question wasn't, the the best question to ask, I would just ask, and that was pretty helpful. They're always there to help. That's their job. Never be afraid to ask for help.
Never be afraid to ask for help. And I had something to add to what you said earlier about when someone says no, you can still go to someone else and still ask. Some people will tell you no, and they will say, look, the answer is no. There's nothing we can do about it. There's no way you're going to be able to get that adjusted. This is the end, point blank, period. But like we've heard you said throughout this whole thing, you had to go to several different people. You didn't stop at the first person who said no, it's over.
Yeah.
Not even the second or the third or the fourth person that said no, there's no way, we're not doing it. You were just like, you know what? I'm going to email someone else.
Yeah.
That person said no. Well, I know somebody else. I know somebody else. And just like you said, it's important to just, yes, ask for help, but everything you hear, do take it with a grain of salt. Know that a lot of no's are not final.
Yeah.
You can always go and try, but people remember, be respectful.
Yeah.
Don't cuss out the advisor or the school. Don't get kicked out of the school because you're trying to get, a change to your schedule. Don't do that.
Yeah.
You got to be really polite about it, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. So we don't have any questions, but I am good. Let me you have a lot of fans here. Let's read some of their comments. Let me see. Oh, hold on. We actually do have one question. Someone said, is there a shortcut? Out of all the people you went to visit, who do you think was the most helpful in getting you to achieve this goal?
Honestly, I feel like the person that was most helpful was the person in financial aid. And that was a person that I thought wouldn't be helpful at all. Because I was like, what does financial aid office, like, what are they going to do for me?
Mm-hmm.
But they helped me like my academic advisor helped me to understand, like, financial aid office, these are the people that give the money for these classes or don't give the money. So these are the people you want to talk to. So the shortcut that I probably should have went straight to was financial aid office, but I didn't know that those were the people to talk to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. That sounds like, so if someone's in a situation, try to think of everybody or anybody who would be involved.
Yes.
Right? You thought about financial aid, you thought about advising, you thought about all these places, and that's how you know who to go to next, because somebody might have more information than you have, which is always awesome. All right. So here, just before we go here, I'm just going to throw up some of these awesome comments on the screen here. Someone said the best. Someone said they enjoy this content, that you're a great speaker. Someone else said you have some good information. Someone else said that's a great approach. Someone said it's a great way of making use of your resources. And then we have one more question. Someone's asking, do you think if I decided instead to focus on actually learning the content instead of the grade I could get, then will I be able to achieve more of a beneficial outcome? I'm going to read that again. Do you think if I decided instead to focus on actual learning the content instead of the grade, okay, so if you focus on the content, not the grade, do you think you'll be able to achieve a more beneficial outcome? I'm going to start answering this question. So with this question, and if you want to, Vanessa, it looks like, if you want to, you can add more to this question. But it sounds like you're asking, if you focus on class content, will you have a better outcome to the class rather than focusing on your grade? I would say absolutely, because if you're focusing on class content, you're more engaged with your class. right? You're more engaged with your class, you're more attentive, you're more focused, you're asking questions to the professor and saying, "Hey, I have a question about this piece of content," rather than just focus on your grade, because some people, when they focus on their grade too much, they start thinking about doing the bare minimum. That's all they think about. They're trying to figure out, how much do I need to get a C in this class? That's not a very good place to be. Or they're thinking, how can I get a B, or how can I get an A? So all they want to do is just the bare minimum when they're focusing on their grade rather than the content. If you're focusing on the content, like I said, you'll ask questions, you'll be more involved, you'll be intrigued in the content. Do you have anything to add to that, or are we good on that question?
I think you're right about like, and the thing is, when you're focusing more on the content of that class, you can find more parts of it more enjoyable. If you just like, oh, let me just do the bare minimum, you would like hate the class. You would dread going to that class. But the more interested you are in a class, even if you don't like the topic, but you're like, wait, I didn't know it works like that. I didn't know. Then you'll be more interested. And then the grade that you want will happen because you're so interested that you're digging in more with each topic that you're learning. So it'll
Yep.
make it all easier for you. And the grade that you want, you would get it.
Awesome. That was perfect. So I think that's all for the questions today. So I just want to let everybody know that you can visit www.schoolfinesse.com. When you get to this website, you can join a group. It's organized by your majors. You can join a major group and you can have conversations, ask questions. If you're an undecided major or you're a general studies major, you're just unsure, that's okay. We have plenty of helpful information for anybody who's just starting, or they're in the middle of, or they're almost at the end of their college journey. So visit www.schoolfinesse.com. I hope you like and subscribe to this channel. And one more time, I just want to say thank you so much, Chinyereego, for being on this YouTube channel today. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you, everyone. See ya.